Hello, I'm Luis Basteri. I'm one of the owners of a model agency based here in Dallas. We represent high fashion models internationally. I have a couple of questions here that I need to answer. So I will begin with the first. When sending a model to a foreign country, do you have to deal with restrictions imposed by that government? Yes, there's many restrictions that we have, but I think for us the most important is age. A lot of the times, if a model or actor is under 18 years old, then they're considered a child performer, which that means that now there's work permits involved, now there's chaperones, and there's parents that have to be on set. So that's really the most important. Even in New York City, they just recently passed a bill where models do have to be 18, when before we would send a 13-year-old to Walk Fashion Week. But they did that because, I mean, backstage there's no dividers. They don't want any extra parents back there. So completely understandable, I guess. There's also legislation in like other countries where they prohibit, like Israel, for example, like super skinny models. So we just have to be aware of everything going on in every single market. Um, Two, what are problems you face with conducting business in foreign countries and sending models there? Do you have to talk to the model and brief them on the culture there? Okay, so number one, do we brief the model? We have to. But most importantly, as an agency, we have to be sure that whoever we are sending out of the country is mature enough to be able to handle everything. And by everything, I mean the culture. In a way, assimilating to that culture and being educated about it. A lot of the times, what is considered polite to us might not be considered polite to them. Also, they have to understand that language barrier. Communication is very important. So, obviously, finding a way to handle that themselves. Transportation, just being able to pick everything up in cities like Mexico City or New York, there's a lot of public transportation that models have to take to get from casting to casting. So that's like buses, metros, or taxis, whatever it is. But also to be able to handle being treated as an adult, just because in modeling doesn't matter what age you are, that is your profession and that is what you're treated as. You're treated as an adult. And I think just basically handling all types of personalities and all types of people, have it be on set or models live in a model's apartment with a ton of other models, so they have to be able to handle all of those personalities. And then do we have, what are the problems? You know, Problems with the agency and on the business side, I really have none. The problems come with the models a lot of the times. Maybe they end up not liking the city that they're living in too much, or I guess they get homesick, or they have obligations that they have to come back to. This happens a lot with high school students, like the girlfriend and this and that. So that's the biggest problem, which is again why the agency, we have to be very sure that that model is prepared, just because our jobs are on the line. It's a business, so there's money. So those are really the only problems that I face. Three, are there any limiting factors that make it difficult to send or receive models or currency when dealing with foreign countries? All right, so sending models, of course, they need a passport. If you're going to work in any country for more than 3 months, you need a work permit. So we have to be sure that we're following those rules. Accounting, really, that's treated through the agency. We have specific contracts. Really, with communication and technology, I mean, with technology, communication has just changed so much, so it's made everything so much easier than it was before. My last question is there a competitive aspect between model agencies here and internationally? There's a competitive aspect with modeling agencies in the same market. So I'm competitive with agencies that are in Dallas. However, I'm not competitive with agencies internationally, so other countries. We're actually friends because I send models to, if I send them to Milan, there's agencies that we work with there. So we have to be friendly with those. So there's not a competition between us. However, there is competition in this market. With us, really, I mean, we're not just an agency, we're also a management company, which means that we handle only high fashion. We want our models to be able not just to work in the US, we want them to work in Europe, we want them to work in Mexico City, we want them to work in all markets to then come back to the US and maybe do a little Miami, maybe do a little LA. So we have to just be sure that they have strong international projection, meaning that we have to be super careful with not overusing them in a commercial market such as Dallas, because then commercial market is pretty much like Doritos or J.C. Penney's or Neiman Marcus or like being on a little website, that kind of, that's all commercial work. We have to be careful because then major designers like YSL, Givenchy, or Chanel, or Diesel, anything, Fashion Week, they get turned off by that. So we have to be really cautious with their imaging. We also keep our board super small, so our models are very selective. They all have to, like I said, be able to work all over the world. And that, I think that's pretty much it. Good luck on your project, guys. Bye bye.